Hi, I'm Trish from Honey Pies Recipes, and today we're going to make a triple berry crisp. In a previous video in this lesson, I demonstrated how to clean and prepare berries. What I have here is about 7 cups of fresh fruit. I have raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries. The recipe works with anywhere from 6 to 8 cups of the fresh fruit. And how to judge that is a half pint is a cup and a pint is 2 cups. So when you go to buy the fruit, depending, raspberries and blackberries usually come in a half pint, and blueberries come either way, half pint or a pint. So just judge by the number of half pints or pints to make up 6 to 8 cups. Wash your berries, drain them, and then take a nice deep dish pot and just put your berries in the bottom. It looks like a lot, but they cook down. Alright. Notice, this fruit is so sweet and delicious on its own that I have added nothing else. There's no sugar, there's nothing. This is just fresh fruit that's going to have a crispy oat topping. We need 6 tablespoons of melted butter. Now, a lot of recipes for a crisp will tell you that you want to knead the butter in or cut it into a lot of little pieces and put it in the Cuisinart. But what happens with that is that your crisp topping stays a little dry. If you melt the butter and add it at the end, it saturates everything and you get a really richer, crispier topping. The recipe calls for oats. I like old-fashioned oats. Flour, you can use all-purpose flour, you can use a whole wheat flour, you can use a white whole wheat flour. The butter, some almonds, brown sugar, salt, and cinnamon. Now it's a half a cup each of the oats and the flour, and it's a third of a cup each of the nuts and the sugar. Half a teaspoon of the salt, half a teaspoon of the cinnamon. If you have nut allergies, but you still want something that has a little crunch to it, the Irish oatmeal, the steel cut oats, they stay a little chunky, a little crispy, and that's a great substitute. You still get some of that great texture without having the nuts. I do this, I have a friend, Bobby, and he's allergic to nuts, but he loves to have a fruit crisp. So when I make them for him, I substitute the Irish oatmeal for the nuts, and it works very, very well. The first thing you want to do is put the nuts and the sugar into the food processor together. The nuts need to be pulverized, and the coarseness of the sugar helps that process. And always with brown sugar, you want to make sure that you pack it. That means to press down. When you dump it out, it should hold the shape of the measuring cup. Once you pop this in, you can hit on and keep going, or you can hit pulse. I like to hit pulse because I just like to check where I'm at. Alright, that's pretty fine. I like it on the finer side. If you like it a little coarser, you can, that's why pulse is nice. You can then check and see what the texture of the nuts are and stop at the point where you like it. Right, so now we're going to add flour and oats. Half a cup of oats and half a cup of flour. Just sort of use your measuring cup just to toss the flour around a little to aerate it. Pull up a scooped amount, and with the flat edge, scrape it off. And finally, a half a teaspoon of coarse salt. If you're using regular table salt, use a 1/4 teaspoon because the granules are much smaller and you get about twice as much salt as you would with coarse salt. And a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. We're going to give a few pulses of this just to break down the oats a little bit and mix everything together. And then finally, take our melted butter and just drizzle your butter in. Scrape it We'll put the cover on and pulse. And what you have is a very, very moist topping that's going to crisp up beautifully, and there won't be any flakiness to it. And this we're just going to sprinkle over the top of the tart, or of the crisp, and then just very gently scoop it out over the top of the crisp. I've placed this crisp on top of what's called a drip pan. It holds your pie pan up, but if you have any overflow from juices, it flows over into the sides here instead of on your oven floor, which is really, really messy. And I'm going to pop this into a 350-degree preheated oven and cook it for 1 hour and 10 minutes. Congratulations, you've finished lesson 2, ending with your delicious triple berry crisp. Enjoy your dessert, you've worked hard, and now I'm going to take a break with you know who. Boo-boo!